Kubuntu Linux 2025 has arrived, and it's bringing a lot more to the table than just a fresh coat of paint on an old concept. For anyone who has ever looked at Linux and thought it was either too complex or too plain compared to Windows or macOS, Kubuntu offers a compelling alternative. Built on the solid foundation of Ubuntu, Kubuntu brings the KDE Plasma desktop environment into the mix, delivering a combination of speed, aesthetics, and functionality that makes it one of the most attractive Linux distributions for 2025. But is it really Can it replace your daily Windows or macOS experience without frustrating compromises? In this review, we're going to dive deep into everything Kubuntu 2025 has to offer, exploring its performance, customization options, software ecosystem, security features, and more, giving you a full picture of what to expect if you decide to make the switch. Starting with installation, Kubuntu 2025 keeps things extremely simple. The installer has been polished to cater to both new users and those who want a more advanced setup. You can easily install Kubuntu alongside your existing operating system, allowing for dual boot setups without touching the partitions manually if you don't want to. For beginners, this is a huge win because partition management and bootloaders are often the scariest part of switching to Linux. The installer now provides a clearer, step-by-step guide with helpful graphics and tooltips explaining what each option does. For advanced users, there's still a manual partitioning option, the ability to choose file systems, and even fine-tune bootloader options. Overall, the first impression of Kubuntu is smooth and reassuring, immediately creating a positive experience for someone coming from a Windows or Mac environment. Once you boot into the system for the first time, the KDE Plasma desktop makes a strong statement. Kubuntu 2025 continues the trend of focusing on clean, modern aesthetics without sacrificing performance. The interface is fluid and responsive, and on most mid-range hardware, animations and transitions are buttery smooth. The default layout is familiar enough for Windows users to feel at home, with a taskbar, start menu equivalent, and system tray. But it's also highly configurable for those who want a more unique experience. KDE Plasma has long been known for its flexibility, and Kubuntu 2025 takes that to the next level. You can adjust almost every visual element, from window decorations to icon sets to color themes, all without diving into complicated configuration files. Even better, the system allows you to save and import desktop layouts, meaning if you love your setup, you can back it up and restore it effortlessly. Performance-wise, Kubuntu 2025 is impressive, thanks to optimizations in the Linux kernel and KDE's lightweight design philosophy. It runs efficiently on older hardware, while still taking advantage of the latest CPUs and GPUs. Boot times are quick, and the system feels snappy even with multiple applications running. Memory usage has been optimized in this release, meaning that you can comfortably keep a web browser with dozens of tabs, an office suite, a music player, and even a light game open simultaneously without noticing significant slowdowns. For users transitioning from Windows, the difference is striking. Whereas Windows 10 or 11 often consumes large amounts of memory just sitting idle, Kubuntu manages resources more intelligently, which can make an older PC feel like new again. One of the standout features of Kubuntu 2025 is the software ecosystem. Being based on Ubuntu, it has access to the vast repository of Debian-based packages, including both stable and cutting-edge software. The graphical software center in Kubuntu has been refined to make discovering applications easier, with curated recommendations, categories, and search functions that are intuitive even for someone who's never used Linux before. Most essential applications, like Firefox, LibreOffice, VLC, and GIMP, are just a click away. Additionally, KDE-specific applications like Dolphin File Manager, Kmail, and Kdenlive offer polished experiences tailored to the Plasma desktop. Snap and Flatpak support is also baked in, giving users access to even more modern applications and updates without worrying about breaking system dependencies. This makes Kubuntu a great choice for both beginners who want a ready-to-go experience and power users who want flexibility. Customization goes beyond visuals. Kubuntu 2025 allows deep configuration of how your system behaves. The KDE System Settings app is powerful, yet organized, providing easy access to network configurations, hardware settings, and even window behavior tweaks. Want your windows to snap into a grid when you move them? Easy. Want to assign specific actions to gestures or keyboard shortcuts? Also easy. For Linux newcomers, this level of control might seem overwhelming at first, but the defaults are sensible, and optional tutorials and tooltips guide you through more advanced tweaks. For tech enthusiasts, this is where Kubuntu truly shines. No other mainstream Linux distribution provides this level of out-of-the-box customization, while still being approachable for beginners. Gaming on Kubuntu has also improved significantly in 2025, with better integration of Proton, Steam, and Lutris. Running Windows games on Linux is no longer the headache it used to be. Many popular titles now run near-native performance, and the KDE Plasma desktop ensures that even graphically intensive applications don't feel sluggish. The addition of Vulkan support in the latest Mesa drivers further boosts gaming performance for AMD and Intel GPU users, while NVIDIA support remains solid for those using proprietary drivers. If gaming is a priority, Kubuntu may no longer require a dual boot with Windows for most titles, which is a huge step forward for Linux on the desktop. Security and privacy are also notable strengths. Kubuntu 2025 inherits the robust security practices of Ubuntu, including timely security updates, a Parmer integration, and strong encryption support. KDE Plasma itself includes features like screen locking, user session encryption, and privacy-respecting telemetry options. For users coming from Windows, the difference is significant. Kubuntu doesn't track you, doesn't send data to a central server by default, and lets you control permissions for every application. For anyone concerned about online privacy or data security, Kubuntu provides a reassuring environment without requiring a PhD in cybersecurity. Hardware compatibility is generally excellent. Most laptops, desktops, and even some tablets work out of the box, with drivers for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and touchpads pre-installed. Printers and scanners are also supported with minimal configuration in most cases. Where there are issues, the community is incredibly active, and solutions are usually just a forum post or package install away. This is particularly beneficial for beginners who might otherwise be intimidated by the need to manually install drivers on Linux. Kubuntu's blend of user-friendly defaults and community support makes it one of the most accessible Linux distributions for newcomers. Despite all its strengths, Kubuntu 2025 isn't perfect. Some niche professional software, especially in areas like video editing, CAD, or certain proprietary business applications, still only runs on Windows or macOS. While alternatives exist, the transition may involve a learning curve or adapting workflows. Additionally, while KDE Plasma is lightweight for the features it offers, ultra-minimalist users might still prefer even lighter desktop environments like XFCE or LXQT. Finally, while gaming support has improved, there are still edge cases where a game may not run perfectly, requiring workarounds. These aren't deal-breakers for most users, but they're worth noting for anyone considering a full switch from Windows or Mac. The community aspect of Kubuntu is another key factor. Kubuntu has a dedicated and passionate user base that produces guides, tutorials, themes, and support for newcomers. The official forums, Reddit communities, and even YouTube channels provide a wealth of resources. This makes solving problems far less daunting, especially for beginners who might otherwise feel lost in the Linux ecosystem. The developers also maintain active communication channels, so bug fixes and feature improvements are released steadily, keeping the OS modern and responsive to user needs. Looking at updates and maintenance. Kubuntu 2025 continues the Ubuntu tradition of offering LTS long-term support versions alongside regular releases. LTS versions provide up to 5 years of support, which means you can install Kubuntu and expect stability and security updates without worrying about system-breaking upgrades. Regular releases give early adopters access to the latest KDE Plasma features and software updates. The package management system is robust and predictable, making installing, updating, and removing software straightforward. For someone used to Windows updates, sometimes unpredictable behavior, this level of control and transparency is refreshing. Kubuntu's appeal in 2025 lies in the balance it strikes between performance, aesthetics, and usability. It is fast enough for older hardware, beautiful enough to be a joy to use daily, and flexible enough to cater to both beginners and power users. KDE Plasma continues to evolve, bringing modern features like dynamic wallpapers, advanced window management, and integrated search systems, all without overwhelming the user. For those who value privacy, Kubuntu is a solid choice, and for those who value customization, it's almost unrivaled in the Linux space. In short, Kubuntu 2025 is a Linux distribution that doesn't ask you to compromise on style, speed, or functionality. In conclusion, Kubuntu Linux 2025 is a strong contender for anyone looking to move away from Windows or macOS, whether out of curiosity, privacy concerns, or the desire for a more efficient system. It's beginner-friendly enough to welcome new users into the world of Linux, yet powerful enough to satisfy experienced users who want control over their system. Its combination of KDE Plasma aesthetics, strong performance, software availability, security features, and community support makes it one of the most compelling desktop Linux distributions available today. While there are limitations with proprietary software and certain niche applications, for the vast majority of daily computing tasks, browsing, office work, media consumption, light gaming, and even content creation, Kubuntu 2025 excels. It's not just an operating system. It's a full desktop experience that feels modern, fast, and fully customizable. For anyone who's been hesitant about switching to Linux, Kubuntu 2025 may be the perfect gateway, offering a polished, practical, and enjoyable computing environment that could easily make it your primary operating system.